Okay, so we covered progressive overload. Go back a few slides on this page if you didn't catch that, because that's the #1 requirement for progress. Athletic performance or aesthetics. You can have the most perfectly designed program in the world. If it lacks progressive overload, there will be no progress over time. It's simply asking the body to do something it wasn't previously used to doing. Beyond that, we're going to take that a step further just to show you the balance of this program. Beyond progressive overload, there are 3 items that are responsible for you maintaining or adding lean muscle, okay? So unless you have 1 progressive overload and then these next 3 items sunk, okay? And that's why a lot of you probably are feeling frustration with your program. If you're paying all this money, you gotta check off this list, okay? So item 1 would be mechanical tension. Mechanical tension is simply putting on a load. I would load on this bar what I'm capable of and move it with full range of motion. So whether it's a squat or this or whatever, full range all the way through with some type of load on that bar. And progressive overload tells you that that load needs to change over time. Or we change the reps, or we change the volume. There's a lot of different ways to change mechanical tension. But unless you have that, that's item 1. It's already off your list. The ability to keep adding weight and put a full range of motion with load on the body. That causes the second item, most important item of these 3, muscular damage. So what happens is when I load that up, I'm causing little microfiber tears, in this case, in a large area of the body, because this is a compound movement, meaning I'm using multi-joints to move it. My triceps, my shoulders, my chest, even a little bit of my lats pushing. Microfiber tears everywhere, versus if we just did a bicep curl, you're only damaging that one area. So we're damaging a large area here, and what happens is the body says, no. You're not going to pull this on me again. I'm going to recruit more muscle fibers and repair. So the next time you try that mechanical tension on me, I'll be ready. You see how this works, okay? That's how building muscle or maintaining it happens. Now the third piece, most gyms get right, but that's only one element. And that is metabolic stress. So metabolic stress is basically when the hormones release into your body, lactic acid gets in there because the body is fatigued and it's still being asked to go. So in this case, it would be by my 3rd set or 4th set of 10, there comes metabolic stress. So my muscles are now fatigued, they're worn out, they're requiring assistance, help. So that gets released into the body. Now, a lot of gyms will do that through HIIT training, but there's a fine line. If you're just doing, if you don't have mechanical tension, you don't have muscular damage, you don't have progressive overload, it's not going to do it for you. You're not going to have enough out of metabolic stress to do anything to shape the body. That is basically most gyms' HIIT training. And if you're doing it for 45 minutes, 60 minutes a class, the benefits shrink. All you're doing is raising cortisol levels. Okay, so it's not really going to work if you just have one dynamic of it. Even worse if progressive overload is missing altogether. Okay, so progressive overload, mechanical tension, muscular damage, and then metabolic stress. That has to happen so we can have results. Now, what I see, and here's a cue of how we can fix that, if you already work out here, this is what I see happen. The board says do 4 rounds of 10 at incline press. So person A just goes 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and I'll tell them, well, what are you doing? Why did you lift that so fast? Where's the fire in the building? There's no muscular damage being done. There's no mechanical tension because the time spent under stress also applies to mechanical tension. There was no time under stress there. I got through it in 5 seconds. The next step I cover with them is, hold on, time out. Why did you stop at 10? If I gave you $100, could you have done 20? Yeah, sure. Well then why'd you stop at 10? Well, because the board said so. We are lacking intensity. That's another thing that we cover here, okay? That would be just selling yourself short. Or they'll say this, well, I could have done 20, but I stopped at 10 because I see here on the board there's sets 2, 3, 4, and 5 happening. So I'm saving my energy for that. That's where rest comes in. So if your gym isn't allowing you proper rest intervals, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, long periods of time, then yeah, you're selling yourself short again because you're racing through everything. It'd be like me asking you to solve 2 + 2 really fast every day, and then we test you a month later to see if you're better at math. Speed has nothing to do with it. So think about that. Check off those lists. If you're frustrated with not getting progress, those things are 100% lacking, okay, from your program. Make sure if you're spending money, the program has what it takes.